כאחד מאיר פניך חיינו אבינו כולנו כאחד כולנו כאחד חיינו אבינו כולנו כאחד כולנו כאחד פניך וחיינו אבינו כולנו כאחד כולנו כאחד פניך So we're on page 175. Wednesday, Joe Saturday gives the music.
I'll put it back.
Okay. Kesher shel Torah shebal peh. Connecting with the oral Torah. So let's see what he's going to say over here. אני רוצה שתדעו, בכל שנה הקשר לתורה נהיה עמוק יותר. You should know that every year our connection with Torah keeps on getting deeper. בכל שנה כשקוראים את פרשת השבוע, every year when we're reading the weekly portion, תורה חדשה יורדת משמיים, new teachings, new insights come down from heaven. ממש תורה חדשה גוואלד. And it's true. Every year, you go into the bookstores, you'll see there's always new sforim, always, every week, a bunch of new sforim. And because new insights are coming down all the time. כמה ספרים נכתבו על התורה? How many books have been written on the Torah? יש לנו אולי חלק אחד ממיליארד מדברי תורה שנאמרו בפועל. And maybe we have 1 millionth of maybe of all that's in print, maybe it's only 1 millionth of all that's been said. לדוגמה, for example, you mean a milliard is a billion?
Million is a million.
Oh, yeah? Okay, thank you. לדוגמה, for example, בספר דברי חיים מהרבי מצאנז, יש אולי דף אחד על כל פרשה. In the Sefer of the Sons of Rebbe, there's maybe 1 page on each parsha. אשאל אתכם, I'm going to ask you, כמה זמן הרבי מצאנז היה רבי? How long was he Rebbe? 61 שנים. He was a Rebbe for 61 years. When he היה Rebbe בגיל 19, became a Rebbe when he was 19 years old. והחל לומר תורות, and he started saying דברי תורה. הוא היה רבי עד גיל 80 בערך, and he was Rebbe till he was around 80. בכל שבת בסעודה שלישית הוא אמר תורה. לפעמים בין 4 ל-6 שעות. Every Shabbos, the third meal, he would speak, giving דברי תורה maybe between 4 and 6 hours. זה היה מעל גדרי העולם. It was beyond the confines of this world. היכן כל דברי התורה? So what are all the things that he said? הם לא נכתבו. They weren't written down. איננו יודעים היכן הם. We don't know where they are. אבל הם ירדו לעולם הזה. These are words that came down to this world. הם עדיין מרחפים במקום כלשהו. They're still floating somewhere. There's a sefer called Me'or Einayim from the Shenabra. He was a student of the Baal Shem Tov of the Maggid, and So I've heard it reported, and there's 2 volumes. Very, very inspirational stuff. And some of it's been translated into English. And I was told that it's only a small fraction of all the Divrei Torah that he said. And after Shabbos, students of his, with the good memories, would write down what he said. And the only things that he allowed to be published are the things that he didn't remember having said. Because anything that he remembered having said it, he didn't completely trust it. Maybe, but something that he didn't remember, he trusted that it came down in Shemayim. Okay?
Why did he? I don't understand why he trusted.
Because he could have worked it to be whatever he wanted it to be, even if he was thinking about it in the most naive way and thinking just in the most thing. Because he remembered, it means that he actually put his own thought into it and put his own opinions onto it, whether he was trying to or not.
It might not have been totally 100% pure.
And if he didn't remember it, it just means that he should have
Nuria is getting the job over here. She's going to be the official question answerer.
That was beautiful.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm giving her the job.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
The stuff that he remembered, he
He didn't want.
Anyway, so the he was a rather large person, and but it was known that he fasted from Shabbos to Shabbos. So they say that he had so much pleasure from saying Amen Yehesh Me Rabbah that his body would gain weight from the pleasure of saying Amen Yehesh Me Rabbah.
That's one way I explain it.
Yeah. Well, he was a big tzaddik. It's known that he fasted from Shabbos to Shabbos. I'll tell you one more story about him.
Is that actually true, or just like
One of those things,
We just
12 o'clock at night.
during the day
we just quoted something about the sons of Rebbe. The sons of Rebbe once said, he said that if you believe every Hasidic story, then you're a fool, and if you don't, you're a wicked.
We can choose what you want to believe.
Okay. So I'm going to lose my thoughts. Hold on. So the other story I was going to tell you about him was that he used to go before doing Tikkun Chatzot. Tikkun Chatzot are special prayers. The rest of the Hasidim still practice it, and there are others that practice it. If you go to the Kotel at midnight, you'll find some Jews sitting on the floor doing Tikkun Chatzot. And these are special prayers. One is called Tikkun Vachil, one is called Tikkun Leah, one set. And these are prayers over the destruction of the temple. In other words, it's not just during the 3 weeks or Tisha B'Av that there are these special prayers. There are those who actually do Tikkun Chatzot. The ones who follow the strict program is like they go to sleep. They'll daven Ma'ariv early and eat their supper, go to sleep for about 5-6 hours, and get up before midnight, and then go to the mikveh and do Tikkun Chatzot and so on. And there's actually a tab over here that they put out. It's called the Sweetest Hour. It's all about Tikkun Chatzot. In any case, so the Chernobler used to go to the lake, chop a hole in the ice, and toivel. And his wife used to come along to keep an eye on him. And one night he got swept away by the current, and it was miraculous that after a few minutes he managed to find his way back to the hole in the ice, and he's trying to drag himself out. And she takes a look at him and she sees that he's already blue. So she says to him, "Where's your fear of God?" And he started sweating right away. Okay, so there is, you understand, it's there are people who attain such higher levels of consciousness that their bodies go with their consciousness, Anyway, so the sons of Rebbe one day is talking about Hasidic stories. So the sons of Rebbe used to give a shir in Shulchan Aruch, in Halacha. So one day he's learning with them the halacha. There's a halacha that you're not allowed to do any business before you do your morning prayers. So he tells the story about there was this Yid who lived in some town, and the way he made his living was that every year before the winter would come, he would go around, to all the different families and find out how many coats they need, who needs boots, who needs that, make a list of all the things that everybody needs. And then he would take a trip to Leipzig or wherever it was, to some big center where the markets were. And he'd buy all the merchandise that the town needed, and he'd come back. And before winter, he would sell all the winter merchandise. And then the rest of the winter, he was able to afford to sit and study. So one year, he went and did his shopping. He comes back with a wagon or two of merchandise, and it's a warm season, Indian summer, lasting a long, long time, and winter's not coming. So nobody's buying their coats, nobody's buying any boots. Everybody's making do with, you get these freak winters where it's not so cold. And here he is. He's got to pay for all this merchandise that he bought, but nobody's buying any of it, Anyway, one morning, he's in the middle of davening, and there's a knock on the door. This Russian guy is going up to the north, to Siberia, and he heard that they have a shortage of winter clothing there, and I heard that you have a whole couple of wagon loads of merchandise, I'd like to buy it from you. So the Yid says to the Ruski, says, very good, right now I'm davening, come back in an hour and a half. The Ruski says, no, you don't understand, I'm not coming back in an hour and a half. You either sell it to me now or goodbye. So he says to him, fine, you do what you need to do and I'll do what I need to do. Right now I'm praying. Come back in an hour and a half if you want to, otherwise, goodbye. So the whiskey, to show that he meant his, he walks away. He closes the door, goes back to davening. 15 minutes later, the Russian guy knocks on the door again. He says, listen, I'll offer you more money for the merchandise, but then sell it to me now. He says, I told you, come back in an hour and a half. Right now I'm praying. The Russian guy says, I'm telling you, you either sell it to me, I'm going to be going. So he says, you do what you need to do, and I'll do what I need to do. 15 minutes later, the Russian bangs on the door again. He says, I'm giving you another 25%, but you sell it to me now. And he says, come back in another hour. I'm not finished praying yet. The Russian gets onto his wagon, and he leaves. That's the story that the sons of Rebbe said. And then he goes back to the book and he starts reading the next paragraph. And the Hasidim are like, what kind of story is that? Where's the happy ending? Right? And he senses that they're not pleased and he says, what's wrong? They say, Rebbe, what kind of story is that? That's not a Hasidic story. That's, we would expect that the guy would come back and da-da-da-da. So he says, it's a story about a Jew who takes halacha seriously. It's true.
And that's the whole story.
That's the whole story.
It's the moral.
Okay? So,
Nothing where the receipt wagon was right.
not Gornish. No, he didn't come back. He didn't say, I forgot my kachka. He didn't do any of that.
You just want.
There must be more to the story.
I think what happened
What more do you need?
is that the wagon broke down when he left. He came in, he got snowed in, the guy converted to Judaism.
Yeah.
10 years.
Hollywood.
He became a Talmud of the Rebbe.
So
That's what the Rebbe told him. It's a story about a Jew who took halacha seriously.
So I was struck by the very first sentence in this chapter.
Yeah.
The very first, it seems such a surprise. So radical. It says, everyone knows that the connection with Torah gets deeper every year.
Mhm.
And when I was learning once upon a time, I learned that the further we are from Mount Sinai, from the Revelation, the less it is. The deeper the Torah was deepest with the people who are closest, who are actually right there. And as we go back and go further away in time, and he's saying the opposite. He's saying it's get deeper with time.
The Torah is a living Torah.
It's a spiral
The
time.
Torah is there for us all the time. Life, reality, these are fluid. These things change, and the Torah speaks to you throughout your life. And as you become more and more aware, you also become more and more aware of depths of the Torah that you never knew before.
On the individual level.
Not just on the individual level, on like there's thousands of people are studying the Talmud in all the different yeshivas. They're all studying the same volume. And they're coming up with new questions, with new insights. And so that's the way it is. Okay?
It's very
But it's true that none of the scholars of today would dare to argue with, for example, with the Vilna Gaon, or would dare to argue with Rabbi Akiva Eger. And they wouldn't dare to argue with predecessors of theirs from a few hundred years before. Understand? The Torah that the race was studied back in the time of the Talmud, for sure it was they knew the Torah a lot better. But still, there are depths of Torah that are being revealed to us just now. There's a story in the Gemara that that Moshe Rabbeinu came back down to earth, and he goes into a big midrash, and he didn't understand the shir that's being given. And he was surprised, but that's the way it is. You understand? It develops and so on. And this math, Barak, you know Barak from I'm not sure, you know, the one who leads the davening. Yeah, Barak Holman. So his father-in-law is a math professor at Technion. So a couple of years ago, he had just been at a conference, and so I just was talking to him, and he said to me that nowadays, at a math conference, math has flowered and branched out so much that the people in one division of math don't understand what the people in the other divisions are doing.
Sure.
It's no longer just plus and minus, divide and multiply. Math has become like, you know, and they're still discovering more and more math, you know, and so on, you know, and that's one of the amazing things about the creation is that, you know, like, is that the more the science is progressing, the more science is beginning to realize that, you know, whereas 100 years ago or 50 years ago, scientists thought that, you know, they got it all figured out already. Not the real scientists didn't think that way, but yeah, but scientists were like, you know, like how much more music can be made up? You know, how much more art can there be? You know, how much, and you're beginning to get a sense of the infinity of the presence of Hashem. Okay, so let's go. Harab Iponovich Siper Lavi Mavi.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Judaism didn't There are sources, right, that knew that the world wasn't flat. Right?
I don't know enough science stuff and things like that to get into that right now. Okay? It's an honest answer, okay?
Yeah.
All I can tell you is that somebody wrote a letter to Lubavitch Rebbe once, because the way that the Talmud puts it is that the sun travels around the earth. According to the way science looks at it now, it's the opposite, right? So somebody wrote a letter to the Rebbe saying that he was going to give the yeshiva a big donation on the condition that the Rebbe would come out and categorically say that the scientists are right, that the earth travels around the sun instead of the sun traveling around the earth. The Rebbe told him, forget it. And if he went on to explain that how with the theory of relativity, which I don't know anything, I don't know anywhere nearly enough to even talk about it, even to go yeah. So in one of the big universities, that's how they when you have your admissions interview, they'll just take a subject. How do you know if you know something well or not? So let's say you're studying a subject, right? Run if you want to know if you know it well. Put on the timer and see how long you can talk about it before you start going Okay. So, but in general, there's a lot of things today that science is recognizing and discovering that they say, oh, this actually fits very well with what the Kabbalah has been teaching, and things that, hello.
You see more and more these days when you look at like science, different findings that they're just trying to show you.
Okay?
Yeah, and so like they'll turn to professors in Israel or different things, and you'll hear that they basically use the Kabbalah as a basis to prove that they're.
There's the fact is that so we're operating from the premise that the rabbis do what they're talking about. The fact that science didn't recognize it is because science still has to catch up. Why not? Actually, I was talking with a big Rav yesterday who knows like almost every subject under the universe to know. We would attend his classes. I don't want to mention his name right now. And we were talking about like some questions of medical questions in halacha. And we were talking about we were thinking of having a course Torah and alternative medicine, because some of these alternative medicine practices are actually the way but some of these courses are the way they're practiced are actually idolatrous. Okay? And
alternative medicines also.
Some Eastern practices are based in a background of idolatry. So there's actually a Mishnah in Masechet Shabbat that talks about this. That's one of the things that people used to do is they used to wear a necklace with a shen shel shu'al, with a fox's tooth and it was considered to be like like a healing practice.
In Judaism?
It's a Mishnah.
Oh, okay.
And the Mishnah talks about the halacha that you can wear that on Shabbat. So Reb Meir, I think it is, he says on Shabbat, even during the week you're not supposed to wear that because it's dakeha emori. It's like it smacks of some kind of idolatrous practice of the Amorites. Mm-hmm. And the Gemara says, if it actually works, then you could use it, and it has nothing to do with idolatry. In fact, the idol worshippers were doing that. So that's their problem. So we were talking about the issue of how do you define if something actually works. So nowadays they have double-blind studies, right? You've heard of that, right? You're testing a drug, let's say. So you give a placebo. You give half the people the actual drug. You have to give half the people what they call a placebo. Somebody's at the door. Double.
And you see the effects.
And you see the effects. So you know what? The ones who take the placebo. So the ones who take the placebo.
A lot of times they have a good effect.
A lot of times, 30%.
It's called double blind because the investigator doesn't know either.
Yeah, because he's not allowed to know. They just have to mix it up.
Right.
Shalom David. So now they're doing more than a double blind. They're doing they're doing the blind and the blind or whatever it is. I don't know. He was telling me about this, but basically, so we're talking about. So for example, the FDA, the Drug Administration, will not approve a drug unless it has a certain significant percentage advantage over the placebo. But in general, the history of medicine is basically a history of mistakes.
That's true.
Okay, he was saying that this person went to the doctor. They had a certain hernia, and this doctor is known to have done hundreds of these surgeries. Okay, and he said that, are you in a lot of pain? So he said, Baruch Hashem, no. So he says, well, let me tell you about a study that just came out last week. And the study was about the side effects of this, or the complications, not complications resulting from that surgery, and complications resulting from not doing the surgery. Complications from doing the surgery was whatever it was, I don't know, 7, 10, 15%, I don't know. And he says, the amount of complications from not doing the surgery? Yes.
Complete recovery.
0. So he says, if you would have come to me a week before, I would have done the surgery on you. Now, you're not in too much pain, I'm not doing the surgery.
That's not in all.
No, but it was an example of history of mistakes. Understand? It's like, look, last week we were at this bar mitzvah, right? You were sitting next to me. Remember?
Yeah, that was my kids.
No, Thursday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has to check the
You know how long
memory.
ago that was?
A week
You
ago.
know what's happened?
A week ago tonight. A week ago tonight.
Yeah, that's officially, but
But in
I
my
guess, okay,
sense,
I know.
it wasn't
Then it's
really.
like, yeah, okay, yeah.
So
Why not?
we were
This is
sitting
it.
at the table, and Reb Steinsaltz's son
oh, okay, right.
was sitting there. Reb Steinsaltz tells the story. He wrote a book after the Rebbe died. Reb Steinsaltz said, you see the book, My Rebbe? It's
No, I
very
read
nice,
an
very
essay
nice
from
book.
it.
I heard about it.
So his son, the one that was sitting near us, so he was in his teens, and he got cancer. And Rosh Steinsaltz is a chassid of the Rebbe, and the Rebbe and the doctors wanted to do certain surgery. And the Rebbe said no. And so he told the doctors, you're not doing the surgery. And he reports, they got very angry with him. You yourself are a man of science. How dare you tell us not to do it? He says, we're not doing it. And he says his son is the only one alive from the entire world today.
It's her what?
He's the only one alive from the entire world. at that time.
Ward.
But he didn't do the surgery.
Child? Was it child when you said?
It was in his teens, I think. Okay, so in any case, doesn't mean that the Rebbe trusted doctors. The Rebbe told people to go to doctors. He didn't tell people not to go to doctors. You understand? And if the state of David's, there's a guy outside there, Elisha. I think he's supposed to come in. Huh? Then it's back. Oh, they're no, second. They're not coming in right now. Anyway, so you ever trust the doctors? He would send people to doctors, and he would tell people, do what the doctor tells you, right? But there were times when he would say no to a surgery, or don't do like this, do like that, or there were people that, that the doctor recommended surgery, so then the Rebbe would say, go to a doctor that's also a friend of the family. And
why would that make a difference?
Because he's going to take a little bit more time to investigate, the things, rather than look at you like another file on the desk, So, in any case, what did it have to do with any of this over here? We were talking about alternative medicine, and what else? How did we get into this?
I don't know.
Yeah, because we were talking about
We're talking about rabbis and we were talking about rabbis and Torah coming down and so on, and trusting emunat tzaddikim, trusting the tzaddikim and so on. And the point that the Tzanzer Rebbe was making with that story was, you also got to trust halacha. Right? So, Rav Miponovich Sipir Ravi Mori said, the Ponovich Rav told my father, V'shemati zot, Eich Rabbi Eliezer Gordon miyasei yeshivat tells, Hechin asmo l'shiyur. So the Rosh Yeshiva of Telz, the founder of the Telz Yeshiva back in Europe, this is how he would prepare himself for a shir. He had the biggest geniuses as students in the Telz Yeshiva. He had this big yeshiva with 400 students. But he would give a shir only to 20 of the students. These 20 students, they became luminaries in the world. When he would give a shir, do you have a book?
No.
Well, why? What do you think, I'm psychic or something? Figure it out. We're on page 175. And I said, he's looking at me a long time, so I figured either I'm very, very handsome, or he doesn't have a book.
Only about.
Anyway, so he would give a shir for 6 to 8 hours, talking about being able to talk without going, right? And Akshivu was there. Now listen to this. Echu haya, we're at the bottom of the page. Echu haya mechin et hashiyur. How did he prepare the shir? Nischima bachurim yashvu. The 20 students were sitting there. Hu haya omer, and he would say to them, "Tnu li give me 5 minutes." V'atak gemara b'daf mesuyam. He would open the Gemara to some page. V'amar, he would say, "Tnu li Rambam. Bring me a Rambam." He yistakil b'Rambam. וכך הרב מפונביץ' אמר, נפגשו לו 6 שעות לומר לנו את מה שהוא חשב באותן 5 דקות. It would take him 6 hours to tell us what he was thinking in those 5 minutes.
1 hour, 5 minutes.
It would take me 1 minute to tell you what I was thinking for 6 hours. Okay? תארו לעצמכם, 176. Imagine this. Kama divrei Torah hayu lo barash. Can you imagine how much Torah he had in his head? Ma kara divrei Torah halalu. So where did these words of Torah go? Ma kara lechol hashiurim shelo. What happened to all his lectures? Lo nichtavu. They weren't written down. Amnam yesh sipur shel kama tshuvot b'halacha mimenu. there is a sefer. I'm sorry, there's a sefer with a number of responses of his that he gave in halachot. אבל זה אולי חלק אחד ממיליארד, how much is a מיליארד? A billion? זה חלק אחד ממיליארד מדברי תורתו. It's a tiny fraction of all his teachings. קחו למשל את הגאון הרב שובר. הרב שובר גאון. בעל ספנת פענח. מה נשאר מענק זה? What do we have left from this giant? נתפסו ממנו רק כמה תשובות. יש את התורות שכתב בפנינו בפינות ספריו, and we find his dibur Torah, we find them written, with his handwriting in this form that he used to use. כשמשה רבנו ירד מהר סיני וראה שעושים את עגל הזהב, so Moshe Rabbeinu came down from Mount Sinai and he saw that the golden calf was made. So what did he do? הוא שבר את הלוחות. He broke the לוחות. So what happened then? אחר כך הוא חזר והביא לוחות חדשים. So he went afterwards, 40 days later, 120 days, 80 days later on Yom Kippur, he came down with a new set of lochot. Right? So he says, actually, Moshe Rabbeinu שבר את הלוחות. Sorry, מה קרה? עד שמשה רבנו שבר את הלוחות, so until Moshe Rabbeinu broke the tablets, היו לנו 5 חומשי תורה בלבד. We had just the 5 books of Moses. יפה מאוד, very nice. But מתי התורה באמת התחילה? When did the Torah really begin? When did the Torah really begin? אחרי הכל מכל הנביאים, 62 מסכתות הש"ס, all the books of the prophets, the 62 tractates of the Gemara, הזוהר, הכל התחיל אחרי שבירת הלוחות. Everything began after the breaking of the tablets.
Why?
אתם יודעים מדוע? Did you read ahead or something that you said why?
No, because I don't understand.
I know. So he says, אתם יודעים מדוע? You know why? כי גוואלד התגעגענו לתורה. Because we yearned for the Torah. גוואלד התגעגענו לתורה, we really, really yearned it.
Basically, by yearning for it, we started going into it in our own selves, and not just by what was written. We started looking into it.
And there was, because
I'm
before,
saying, missing it and wanting it so badly, we started looking into the things that were not written and into the.
We wanted more and we wanted more, exactly. And
we wanted it and we didn't have it.
Yeah, but it's all there. See, what you need to understand is that it's all there in the written.
Yeah.
This is, you understand? It's all there. Where is it? It's even in the shape of the letters. Even each letter itself is layers and layers of information. Okay?
When we started learning Tosh about it, they told us also that they said, basically when you look at a page, what do you see? You see the black writing. All of the white, that's the Torah Shabbat.
The white and black.
Right. So this is a very, very important point. But it's, in other words, because it was broken, right? You're really yearning for it. And when you're really yearning for it, that's when you start to get it. Right? Remember the other day I asked you, this guy leaves one of his sons a good car and the other one a jalopy, right? Remember? Who got the better gift? Your father gives you a jalopy and gives you have a brother, sister, and gives your brother a good, nice running car. Who got the better gift?
I did.
Because you were here. Why? You didn't know. I was going to ask you why. Why?
Because I get to fix my own the way I want it to be.
You get to learn how to make it work. Right? In other words, you think that you didn't get as good a gift as your brother. In fact, you actually get better. Right? So the same thing. In other words, when Moshe Rabbeinu broke the Luchot, right? He's saying, okay, the Torah didn't disappear. Now you're only going to have it if you really yearn for it. מהי תורה שבעל פה? What is the oral Torah? רבי נחמן אומר תורה עמוקה, רבי נחמן is a really deep lesson. He says, משה רבנו עניינו לתת לנו את התורה. Moshe Rabbeinu is all about giving us the Torah. הוא נתן לנו את התורה פעמיים, but he gave us the Torah twice. משה רבנו נתן לנו את התורה כשהוא הוריד את הלוחות. He gave us the Torah when he brought the tablets down. משה רבנו נתן לנו את התורה כשהוא שבר את הלוחות. And he also gave us the Torah when he broke the לוחות. אבל זו תורה עמוקה, that's a very deep teaching. הוא נתן לנו את הלוחות השבורים. He gave us the broken tablets. כידוע, as is known, בבית המקדש הלוחות השבורים והלוחות השלמים נמצאים יחד. Did you know that? That the whole tablets and the broken tablets both were kept in the ark.
I remember where I wrote that.
Okay? Both were in the ark. Zohi אותה תורה. The whole and the broken, it's the same Torah. אי אפשר לדעת אחת בלי השנייה. The written Torah, the Torah שבכתב, and the oral Torah, the Torah שבעל פה, it's the same Torah, but you can't know one without the other. Right? אני רוצה שתדעו, I want you to know, חברים, שללמוד גמרא, you know what it means to learn גמרא, אין פירושו שיושבים ולומדים מבינים מה שכתוב. Top of 177. Learning Gemara doesn't mean that you sit and you learn and you understand what is written. הרי אם אתה מבין, if you learn a page of Gemara and you say, oh, I understand it, סימן שלא הבנת. That's proof that you didn't understand it. It's good to know that for a young Talmud
I totally agree.
Okay? That you're trying to understand it, and if you get to a point where you think, oh, now I understand it, that means you don't understand it.
But surely there must come a point when you do understand.
When you get there, remember my phone
The
number.
question is, once you that you understood one thing, if you really look into it, you can go into another whole new hundred of things that you didn't even think about until you were trying to some place.
Because it's all interconnected.
We can
I
understand
get to
it
be
on the level that we
able to
expected
be
to
smart.
understand it.
Yes.
He totally no, impossible.
Good.
Well, my son was get a teenager. I asked him when I get to be as old as you, I would be smart. He said impossible. Like it's my kid. He's 46 right now, and it's Andy's his wife problem.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem is right. Well, years ago, I warned her that she has to stay married to him because I'm not taking him back. She said, I'll do you a favor. My
I
youngest,
hope your
No
son thinks you're
backings on these
hysterical.
contracts.
he's the youngest, and you raise the youngest child differently than all the rest. With the other children, I was the father. Him, I was a friend. Does it make a difference if a kid comes home 1 o'clock in the morning to that 12 o'clock? I love him.
Just be happy to let you come home at all.
Okay, weiter. So I told you that when somebody would apply, would want to kind of study by the Vilna Gaon, I heard this story that the Vilna Gaon would say to him, okay, here, take a Gemara, take any page, sit down and study it. And at some point, I'm going to, here, prepare these 10 lines. And then when I'm ready, I'll call you over, we'll discuss it. And the Gaon would basically, but the real test was not the Gaon called them over to talk. The Gaon would wait and observe the guy and see him learning it once, twice, again and again and again. And if he saw that the fellow at some point decided, okay, now I know it, then the Gaon didn't accept him into the yeshiva. But if he kept on going over it, oh, let's go even further, let's go even further, let's go even further, then that's when he was accepted. Okay? So, בכל פעם אתה צריך לשבת עם הגמרא ולהיות שבור עליה. Third line. Every time you have to sit with the Gemara, you have to be broken over it. In other words, you really have to want to get it. You really have to want to understand it. רק אז תבין אותה קצת, only then will you understand it a little bit. כידוע, as is known, הגמרא אומרת שהזמן המסוגל ללמוד גמרא הוא בעיקר בלילה. The Talmud teaches that in a certain way the best time to learn Gemara is at night. אין הכוונה שצריך לכבות את האור או להדליק נרות בלבד. It doesn't mean that you just have to shut off the electricity and turn on the candles. אלא שצריך לעבוד דרך הלילה. What it means to say is, you've got to work through the darkness. כי הגמרא הרבה יותר עמוקה, because the Gemara is so much deeper. I told you the story the other day with Oppenheimer. Remember? Right? You were here for that too. Like, Oppenheimer is telling this parable that Reb Nachman, he was this big scientist who was in charge of the Manhattan Project. They developed the atom bomb. And huge scientist, okay? Gedalia Fleer told me that Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan was Oppenheimer's math secretary. And they told me that Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan, in the parts of the IQ that they were able to measure him, he measured at 170, whatever that means. But 130 is already very smart. 140 is already genius. Okay, so this guy is looking for his diamond at night. It's a little bit muddy underground. Passerby comes by, he says, "What are you looking for?" He says, "I lost my diamond." So he says, "Can I help you?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, tell me, where did you lose it?" So he points across the street. So he says, "If you lost it over there, why are you looking over here?" He says, "Because here there's a street lamp." Right? So Oppenheimer told this parable, and he said like this: science is like a street lamp. It provides a certain amount of light on a very small part of the universe. And if you want to find God, you got to go and find him in the darkness. In the dark. Okay, so just let me ask you a question. Did anybody consider the possibility of raising a question? We're learning about Tammuz and Av now, right? We're learning about the destruction of the temple and the fast days. What did this teaching have to do with Tammuz and Av?
This is our time that we're broken.
Yeah, I understand. Can we go?
This is the broken. This is the broken. So
Why are we fasting on the 17th of Tammuz? The first tragedy, there's 5 things that happen, right?
No, on Tisha B'Av there's 5 things.
Also, yeah. So, Shiva Sabri Tammuz, Moshe broke the luchot.
They broke the walls.
They breached the walls, etc. Okay? Now, so why is Reb Shlomo talking about this now? Because this is the time of the year that the tablets were broken, right? So what's his message? What's Reb Shlomo's message?
That's needed.
What's his message?
Deeper.
Don't give up.
Wow.
Don't give up, right? On the contrary, it means that you needed a deeper understanding of the Torah, and keep seeking and yearning for it, and you'll get it.
Amen.
But now's the time to yearn for the Beis Hamikdash and so on. Okay? We're going to be here for Shabbos and Yos Hashem, and you're all welcome to come to Sudash Lishit. Okay?
What time are you calling for? 7:30?
Yeah.
Where are you going to Shabbos?
The Hazan